Are you tired of your gameplay looking like this and want it to look like this? Well, today I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how I go about adjusting my monitor to get the very best quality. Today I'm going to show you guys exactly how to change this display to look exactly like this display. Upgrading to 1440p is probably one of the best things I've done in terms of gaming. This monitor right here is only $300 and it is nice. Alright, let's put this monitor together. And just like that, the monitor is already put together that quick. No screws, it swivels perfectly. And honestly, bro, this is probably the fastest monitor I've put together ever. Looks great. Now all I need to do is plug it in and let's move it to the setup. Let's go. My $800 monitor is one of the top of the line OLED monitors. It is a 1440p 360 hertz monitor with the 0.1 millisecond response time versus this $300 monitor, which is a 1440p 240 hertz monitor. As you can see, the difference between these two monitors are pretty significant. The brightness and display on this $800 monitor is just a lot more vibrant and clean versus the $300 monitor. This is actually the quality straight out of the box. So this is unoptimized, untouched, and just unpolished. So what you guys are looking at is the raw picture color. Okay, so first things first, what you're gonna wanna do is navigate over to NVIDIA Control Panel. So if you don't have NVIDIA Control Panel on your computer, then you might as well download it. This is a very helpful tool to kind of adjust your color settings on your monitor. So your display settings. So this is how the monitor looks default whenever you take it out of the box, right? So whenever you open up your NVIDIA control panels, you kind of want to fine tune it exactly how you want it in NVIDIA first, and then afterwards you want to go to your monitor settings and change it to that. So first we're going to start off with the basics. As you can see, it's a little bit too dark in this area where the guy's sitting on the rock. So we are going to raise the brightness up a little bit to like 70, and then we're going to raise the contrast up as well. Actually, the contrast, it looks too much contrast. So we're going to put the contrast back to 50 and then mess with the gamma. So gamma will lighten up the scene, but we don't want too much gamma. Too much gamma will obviously, flatten out the image a little bit and make it too much over contrast. So we don't want to mess with the gamma too much, but with this monitor specifically, we do want to have the gamma up to maybe a 1.4. That looks a little bit better so far. Digital vibrance is going to add a little bit more color to the scene. You don't want to have too much color because you don't want to have it too much saturation. So we're going to have the color probably like 54, 55. We're going to have it to around that. 54, 55 looks like a good kind of starting point. So this is like a decent starting point from our quick adjustment for now. This kind of just lightened up the rock. It kind of added a little bit more depth to the picture and a little bit more brightness to the picture. So as you guys can see, this is what it looks like without it. And I kind of reset the whole thing. So we're gonna go ahead and put all that back. So yeah, this is pretty much how it looks with this quick change. So that was very quick. That added a lot more of clarity to the image, but we really still want to fine tune it, and especially whenever you're playing video games, you want to make the darkness not too dark, and that's you're gonna have to adjust that accordingly. So you want to go into a game and adjust the darkness however you like it. Second, we're going to go into the monitor settings. So navigate to your monitor settings if you know how. We're going to start off by going to the picture mode. So picture mode is just going to be personal preference. We're going to mess with that later. I think that's more so for fine tuning like a picture profile basically. We're not going to mess with that right now. We're going to go straight to the brightness. So for brightness, I think the picture is too dark, especially whenever it's daytime. whenever it's daytime, the light on your screen becomes dimmer. So brightness, having it up will help with your screen being a little bit too dark. So I raise the brightness up usually to the full, which obviously lightens up the picture, as you guys can see. And then we are going to go over to now contrast. And contrast, we can really mess with that in the NVIDIA control panel, so we really don't want to mess with it right here. Next, we're going to go to sharpness. So right now, I feel like around the bushes, especially right here, is a little bit too blurry for me. So I'm going to kind of raise it a little bit until I can start to see the petals individually from one another instead of seeing them like clumped up. And then I don't want to raise it too much, because if you raise it too much, then it would become overly sharp, especially whenever you play a game, like the edges will be too rigid. So I'm going to raise it to about a 3 for now, and just to see how that is. Next thing we're going to want to do is just look at the other stuff. I don't really care about the other stuff. I usually like color temperature to be warm personally. That's just my personal preference, but you can mess around with it and see if you want like a cooler image or whatever. But I usually like warm. Next, we're going to go over or down to game. We're going to turn adaptive sync on usually. This will, especially if you're playing on PlayStation, this can possibly, if your monitor supports it, will give you the option to have VR on and different type of settings on. Or sometimes it will say your monitor doesn't support it, but whenever you turn on like adaptive sync, G sync, V sync, it'll kind of allow you to turn on VR. I could be wrong on that, don't quote me, but my experience, I've had that with this Samsung monitor. I was able to change the, let me see what it is. Yeah, so basically whenever I put on adaptive sync on my Samsung monitor, it allows me to have access to VRR. But whenever I don't have adaptive sync on my monitor, then I can't turn on VRR on PlayStation. And for those of you guys that don't know what VRR is, it's variable refresh rate. It allows you to have a smoother gameplay experience in short term. So let's navigate back to our monitor that we're trying to fix. And yes, so adaptive sync on, and then let's actually go to picture enhancement. So this monitor specifically has picture enhancement, and some monitors don't. So this monitor actually has a lot more features than others, which is great. So let's actually see what color enhancement is. So I can, as I'm adjusting this, you can kind of see what it's doing, right? So it's making the cherry blossoms and the colors pop out a little bit more. So I personally, if I were to change this, I would probably only have level 1 on for that one little pop. But personally, I like a little bit more of a flatter than more saturation. So we're gonna keep color enhancement off, and we're gonna go check out the CR enhancement, which I have no idea what this is. And it looks like CR enhancement kind of adjusts the darkness of specific areas, like the highlights and the dark areas. So personally, especially if you're playing like a FPS game, you kind of want to keep that off just because you don't want the darker areas to be too dark. So we're gonna keep that off. But we are gonna go check out shadow balance. So I think this monitor specifically starts out at, I don't know what it starts out at, but shadow balance is basically like blackness equalizer on other monitors. So some monitors have shadow balance and some monitors have blackness equalizer. This will basically lighten up the shadows. So like if you're looking into like a dark room, the dark room would be a little bit more bright, obviously, right? So this, you're gonna have to mess around with yourself and figure out which shadow balance you like personally. I don't want this to be like crazy high because I'm not gonna be doing a ton of gaming on this monitor. I just wanna be able to see it and have the shadows, you know, pop out, but not too much. So we're gonna put this down to like 55 for now, okay. Let's go ahead and check out super resolution. Oh, wow, okay. So super resolution mode is actually insane. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but it actually adds even more depth to the sharpness, which is, I haven't seen this on any other monitor. So whenever I have it to level 1, I can see the cherry blossoms a lot more clean. Everything's a lot more clean and not blurry. Like it basically pops out all of the blurry edges and it makes it a lot more clean, I guess you can say. So this is gonna be super, super helpful, especially when you're playing any FPS, to have like a very clean footage. So super resolution, at least level 1, I feel like as a minimum, is really helpful. I have no idea what dynamic OD is, but we can figure it out. I'm not seeing any change with dynamic OD. That probably has something to do with something else. So, so yeah, well, that's pretty much it for that, for the monitor settings. I think that is pretty good. So I kind of adjusted a lot of different things. So as you guys can see, this is the current way we have the monitor. What we can do is go back into NVIDIA control panel and adjust a few more things, just to like kind of fine tune it and make it to where how we like it. So, you know, if we need to bring down the gamma, we can bring it down. If we need to bring it up, we can bring it up. So what I'm gonna do is personally bring down the gamma just a little bit, because I feel like the gamma was a little bit too high. So I'm gonna put it to 125. I'm gonna look at the contrast. So that contrast actually looks a lot better at 50. And then the brightness, I can also bring that. Actually, I'm gonna keep that around like 70. This makes it to where the darks kind of aren't too like cloudy, I guess. And it kind of makes it to where it looks more like a solid, like realistic shadow. So this is a W change. So whenever you compare it to this other monitor, you don't really see much difference. So this right here is the 꽱ᴏᴄ monitor, and this right here is the Samsung G60. Do you guys see a difference in the monitors now? So that is really how I go about changing my monitor settings to make my overall picture look a lot cleaner and better. I'm sure there's 1,000 different ways to do so, but that's personally how I do it. It's very simple, very user-friendly, and a lot of people just don't do it. And especially if you're a competitive gamer or even just a gamer in general, you kind of want to adjust your monitor settings and your colors, because it will help you be able to see a lot more things. And not only that, but it'll help you have a lot more clean gameplay. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please leave a like on the video, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And shout out to 꽱ᴏᴄ once again for sending us this monitor to try out and test. This monitor is honestly insanely good. 240 hertz, QLED, 1440p, and I'm sure, don't quote me on this, I haven't tried it yet, but I really want to see if it allows VRR on PS5, which is super important for a lot of the console gamers. So if you guys want to get your hands on this monitor, I'm going to put a link down in the description below. Go make sure to check it out. And as always, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.